There we go.
All right, let's start off with introductions. My name is Hugo Ayala, Boys Assistant Director at SG Elite Volleyball.
Are they?
I'm Brad Rostratter, head coach at Vanguard University.
And I'm David Hunt. I'm the head coach at Pepperdine.
So we just kind of wanted to get together and talk about some of the stuff our boys or all boys can be doing at home as far as recruiting goes, communicating to schools. During the new recruiting period, so my question to you guys, does this apply to you? Coaches can still communicate through text, phone, calls, emails, as long as they are a junior or senior. If they are a sophomore or freshman, they can still read your email, just not respond.
Brad?
For me, I'm actually able to respond, and there's no ban at all for me with any communication with anyone in person or electronically.
Gotcha. For us and all NCAA sports, I think we're trying to be aware of what's going on socially right now. So the NCAA has put a stop on all in-person recruiting. So whether it's us going off or somebody coming on campus, I think pretty much for the most part, everyone has suspended play. And I think we're all trying to be diligent in terms of staying in our house as much as possible, or staying isolated as much as possible. But it doesn't stop us from communicating as normal. So Hugo, like you said, if you are a junior or a senior, we can text, email, call. We can return your calls. We can return your emails. Any sort of communication is good. If you're currently a sophomore in high school, you're restricted. You can send coaches as much information as you want. Video, we can open that. We can watch the video, but we can't really respond to you with any sort of communication. So that goes until June 15th of this year.
Okay. And then us as a club, we've suggested that our players keep emailing schools. Does that help?
For sure it helps. It just keeps the ongoing relationship that we have or we've created, or it allows an opportunity to build a relationship. So I think it's great to have that dialogue and have that conversation with coaches and just continuing to reach out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think right now you have a very captive audience. We all have lots of time on our hands, so might mean increased time on the computer or a few more phone calls that we can make. So any sort of communication is welcome. If we're busy, I think we'll get to it sooner as opposed to later. But any sort of email, call, text message is always welcome, especially right now.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of missing out on a lot of social interactions, especially for coaches that we get on a daily basis. So it's kind of like a blessing every time we get those.
Yeah, you're likely, if you're a student athlete, you're likely to get a picture of my dog or something now, because that's really the only interaction I have.
I think that's important. Just kind of reassuring for our players, because there's a lot of time on their hands, and the fact that you guys are still grinding it out, going through emails, I think that's important. Special guest Jordan Larson in the background.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you.
Oh, what?
Not every day
Delivery.
we walk through the window.
Yeah. Right. Now she has to leave because we have to stay at least 6 feet apart.
But that's important, right? So our boys, they can hear that. All the boys looking to get recruited, that you guys are still going after it, trying to make your programs better.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, so for freshmen and sophomores, I think for them it's a little harder because they're sending stuff out and not knowing if they're, not getting a response is big. So can you guys just reassure them that, hey, we are making, either you're tagging them or, what special process are you doing for them knowing that you can't respond?
For us, it's simple. With the NAI, we have no restrictions with communication, so we can respond to freshmen and sophomores. So, it's pretty straightforward. It doesn't really change for us, no matter the age.
And for us, it's all Division I universities. We can send a generic email that just says, "Hey, here's a link to anything that's public and available to anybody, any regular student." Other than that, there's no communication. So I'd say 99.9% of coaches are opening those emails, clicking links, watching video that's attached to them. And Yeah, and that's part of our job. A small part of it is in the gym coaching. A large part of it is trying to find athletes that fit for our program. So I'd say every coach is out there doing that.
And I think this is like a big question for all our kids. Every time I have a meeting with them, they're asking, hey, what do we include in our video? But I think hearing it from you guys, how much time do you spend? If you got hundreds of emails, how much are you spending on each video? What do you guys want to see? What format do you prefer? If you can kind of run through that real quick.
Yeah, it really just depends on the situation, depends on the time or what's going on. But generally the format for me, or I'll follow, is I like watching a highlight reel to start and kind of initiate. And then if, the time allows, and right now it definitely does, and it's watching a set of volleyball or a full match of them playing and competing.
Yeah, for me, it depends on where you are in the recruiting process in terms of if you're a senior right now that is looking to join our team next year. I'm probably watching more of a match, considering the amount of times I have to watch you are very few and far between in terms of you having to make your decision. If you're a freshman, sophomore, or junior, I'm watching a few clips of you just to get familiar with how well you move, how you see the game, how good your arm is, your overall athletic ability. And that's really just introducing me to who you are as a player. And then there's a lot more to it in terms of this process that we're going to go through. And then it becomes, how well do I get to know you? How well do you fit my coaching philosophy, our coaching philosophy? How well do you fit our university? I mean, there's lots of other things. So, but the highlight video or game video, we're going to see whatever we need to see from either one of those. So I'd say it comes down to time and resources for the athlete. What do you have available to you? I wouldn't suggest spending any money in terms of buying expensive equipment, going to people to slice up a video for it. You don't need to do anything like that. Just find a link of you playing a match that somebody else has already posted and send it to the coach, and just let them know where you're at, what number you are, and maybe, when you enter the game, when you leave the game.
That's important. I think there's so many recruiting websites out there, and I think, you hit it right on the nail. There's a lot of stuff you can do on your own, and, you don't need to, not everyone has those resources, no need to go out there. So that's a great point.
Yeah, you don't need to have any money to be recruited by a university, right? And I think video is so easily accessible. Somebody is always filming it either on iPad or phone or old school video camera, and you can access those videos from another parent. It doesn't even have to be on your own page, but just getting a coach introduced to who you are as an athlete and your overall general abilities.
And then another question, in those emails, like I said, you guys get so many, both of you guys. What's the bread and butter that you guys are really looking for? Is it PPA, height, jump, or just a little quick intro?
I'm going to cut Brad off here because ours is a little more restrictive probably. I think the first thing is your graduation year, because that's going to trigger the communication that we have. If you don't have your graduation year in there and your team is not registered through University Athlete or on University Athlete through a tournament basically that we've been at, then I have to assume that you're not of the age that I can communicate with. So your grad year is probably the most important, and then some academic profile, and maybe even a tidbit or two just showing me that you're not just generically emailing everybody, that you've genuinely done some research on why you think Pepperdine would be a good fit for you. Maybe you know somebody that's gone there. Maybe you're familiar with a major, or we have a major that you're really interested in. Maybe you've been on campus, maybe you've seen a match, whatever it is, to show that it's not just this mass email that's going out to, every coach, in America.
Yeah, for me, it's ultimately just like a connection or something that you have with either myself or the university, and just something that's caught your eye, rather than just send in a blanket, hey, coach, I'm a 5'11" libero. Just kind of make it a little more personal, really kind of build that interaction and build that communication with them through the message, which can be tough sometimes, but taking that extra few minutes to find something about the school and the program to really connect with, I think makes a huge difference within the communication.
And then what are your guys doing right now? I know it's hard. You guys were both off to good starts, and your guys had to be pretty much put on hold, just like our club seasons. But what are your guys doing to stay fit, to stay positive?
Yeah, I know for me, it was really just tough kind of wrapping my head around a few different situations. And for us, with how everything played out with the team and communication wise, the last time I was with the team was Thursday, and we were practicing Wednesday night, business as usual. And then we had a meeting Thursday afternoon. And it's been really difficult for me wrapping my head around, hey, this is the last time, that specific group was in a room together in one place at the same time. And we don't know when the next opportunity for them to get together, whether it be something over summer or not until next fall when the school year starts. But continuing to kind of help and really grow from the situation, because specifically for us as a program, it's we have it a lot better than pretty much any other program because we're not losing anyone. We had no seniors, so everyone's able to come back. So we kind of are trying to find the bright side out of the situation for us, and realistically how we can take this situation and apply it to go help our families and take the 2 months that we would be competing and playing to really spend time with our family, our loved ones, our friends back home, and really make sure we're taking advantage of that time. So kind of helping the guys through some of those emotions, which are difficult to deal with, especially in a situation like this where it's out of our control. And it's rare because in athletics, it's always like, hey, I can find a solution. I can work harder. I can do this better. I can find ways to make an improvement here. But in this situation, the only solution is pulling back and doing nothing, which is kind of like one of those feelings that as a coach gives me a little bit of stress. So just learning to navigate that and handle that.
Yeah, for me, I'm enjoying these shakes that Jordan is making, and I get some time with her, so that's that's nice. We actually had some closure to our season because we were able to have one last scrimmage. We found out on Thursday the season would be canceled, and our athletic director, the guys weren't moving off campus until Sunday, so the athletic director, said, "Yeah, get together one more time," and basically we had like a senior day. Which gave us some closure versus just telling the guys in a meeting, all right, that's it, it's over, see you later. And then our guys, we had some conversations about unfortunately, this is a necessary step to ensure safety for everybody. And last year, we went through a unique situation where because of the Woolsey fire, we were forced off campus and a lot of similar things. We were isolated and there's a lot of unknown. So we feel well prepared for a situation like this. Our university is well prepared for a situation like this. So the online learning and all that stuff, we're ready to rock and roll. In terms of, how we handle it, there's still a lot of stuff that is yet to be decided by the NCAA. We know that the athletes will be granted a season of relief. What that means, nobody really knows. So we'll figure that out as we go forward. But I think the last few years, our university has adopted the mantra of just taking whatever's thrown at us and, one day at a time, find the positive in it. So unfortunately, or fortunately, we're becoming really comfortable in these situations where we have to adapt and we'll figure it out. So we're staying in contact with our guys. They're doing whatever they would normally do when they go home, and then just making sure they're on top of school because they still have about a month and a half left to finish strong so that there's no hiccups going forward next year.
And then are you guys posting any of your matches on YouTube that the boys can go watch and just find other ways to get better at home?
Yeah, we've started to post our matches on our YouTube page just so people that are outside of our network can watch them, right? So it's matches from this year and last year. Unfortunately, they don't load too fast, so sort of like one in a day or one per day, but it's the inline view. It's the view that all our guys, all our coaches have access to. Every coach in the country has access to it. So now that it's just, hey, why not just put it on YouTube so that people that don't have our video sharing service can go and watch. And I'm sure other schools will start doing the same, but just trying to get content and volleyball out there for people that want to go see it. And we actually did a podcast yesterday on the effects of watching high performers or other people perform skill, and just the benefit and the mental imagery. And it's just, obviously it's not practice itself, but I don't think anybody can go out there and practice right now. So it's a way for you to get a little bit better, and there's science that backs it up. So we had somebody on the podcast that was talking about it. They're a lot smarter than I am, so they broke it down and knew all the technical terms. And but just going out there and finding somebody that looks like you, that's comparable height, position, whether you're left-handed, right-handed, whatever it is, and pay attention to something specific that they do that you want to replicate, and then maybe even closing your eyes and imagining yourself doing it just like them. And from what we found is the brain has a hard time differentiating what's really happening and what's not. So you'll get better just by doing that. Maybe when you get in the gym, and hopefully a few weeks or a few months, you'll see, increased performance.
Yeah, we're currently downloading all our matches that are from our website that are broadcasted out and have the scoreboard and everything. So we're downloading all those and getting those uploaded. They currently go up as unlisted, so kind of tweaking that so that, it's open for everyone at this time. It's like, we all need more volleyball and we all need to watch it. I'm assuming most kids are going through withdrawals just like us coaches are as well. So we need a little volleyball release.
Other than that, I know you guys both very personable. Can you just real quick tell me a little bit about your culture that happens at Vanguard, a little bit of the culture at Pepperdine, just to give the boys a little bit of insight that they would normally get?
Yeah, and the culture at Vanguard is ever growing and continuing to change on a daily basis, which is super exciting and something that really not too many people get to be a part of, because it's really a genuine experience that I get to experience within the guys on the team. A lot of the guys are really growing in their relationship with me and their relationship with everyone on campus. And our goal is to be good people who play good volleyball and have an impact on everyone around them on campus. And I thought for sure we were able to accomplish that this past season. And I'm excited to continue growing that aspect of our team and our culture, so that everyone that comes into our program understands there's a certain level of how we carry ourselves on campus, or how we volunteer when other programs need help, or when things are going on in athletics, so that we can really kind of serve those around us, because we get so many great blessings and opportunities every day.
Yeah, Hugh, I probably can go on for a long time about culture and atmosphere, so I won't go into the weeds of it all, but I think our culture is constantly changing, and the constantly changing aspect of it is we're striving to be the best that we can be in everything that we do. And that's our mindset, and that's applicable to our lives. So it's changing, but there's this constant of we're striving to be the best version of us. And as new people come into our program, that changes what that looks like. But just the open dialogue of how can we be the best version of each individual here. And at the end of the day, it's not about wins and losses for us. The wins and losses, they come if our process is right. So we're very process oriented, and we really focus a lot on relationships. But we focus a lot on relationships because the university is really a relationship based university. And similar to what Brad is discussing, I think Brad felt comfortable and is thriving in Vanguard because he was at a university that was very similar in terms of it's a place that cares about the individual and wants to focus on growing the individual, and then knows that, if we can focus on the individual and growing that, then everything that they're involved in will have a positive impact, right? So the idea that the rising tide lifts all boats, I think, is sort of a good mantra or a good idea for it. So, just people that want to be good people and want to care about others, I think is the overall idea of people that fit well in our program.
And then last my question, and I'll let you guys add anything you guys want. Do you think that this time could open some door for some walk-ons within the next season or two?
I mean, I don't really know what's going to come out of this time. I know for me, at least with some of the high school seniors, they're they're stressing out in terms of how is this going to affect my graduation? How's this going to affect my recruitment process? Because club is still up in the air for the rest of the season. And obviously their high school academically is still up in the air if they don't have the access to go online and be remote. So I think it's a time where it's just a lot of stress and unknown for high school seniors. So, I mean, it definitely, from my perspective, it definitely opens the door for more of those conversations and more of that dialogue, just because, weird things happen in our lives, and, we're going to go through fires, and sometimes the fire's our fault and sometimes the fire's not our fault. And this is a situation where, it's no one's fault of their own, especially these high school seniors. So any way that, that we as a program and we as coaches can help and assist people through this difficult time, we're definitely looking to do that. And if that's, giving them a position on the team or them earning it or finding solutions in terms of maybe it's different workouts or a capacity of getting people in the gym over summer, I don't know, but we're definitely trying to find avenues once we know more about what's going on in the world.
Yeah, and for us, it's just, I think it's too difficult to project right now. There's going to be a lot of legislation that comes out in the next few weeks that could potentially drastically impact the next 4 to 5 years. So I think it's too much to project right now, but I think, just as a coach, getting to know young people of high character is really important. And I think the mantra of, if somebody works hard and has great character, you want to find a place for them in your program in some capacity. So I think, if anything, right now, we have time to build relationships and focus on relationships. And that's probably the biggest takeaway for me, is we've been forced to stop being so busy in our lives, right? Physically busy. And we've been granted this opportunity to really enrich the relationships in our lives, whether it's with people that are in our own house, whether it's friends, whether it's family. Just, we have this time to pick up the phone and talk to people, which it seems like nowadays in society is very rare. So at the very least, I think it's an opportunity, whether it's for young athletes or prospective athletes, to just develop relationships with coaches, people in their lives that could open some doors down the road.
And then anything you guys would like to add that would, feel like the players should hear or kind of do? Any advice?
One thing that has been going through my head as yesterday I go to the office to clear out my office to make sure I'm all good for staying home for the next 2 weeks and kind of make sure I have everything. It really makes me thankful for what I do, being a volleyball coach and being able to interact, even like with you guys, being able to interact with two great friends, and it really makes me grateful for the opportunity that I get to coach volleyball and be in an area I love and around people that I really care for. It's very, it's just a time of a lot of like different emotions that you don't normally feel. So that gratitude really comes off, and getting to see guys come on campus to move out their stuff as well yesterday. It's a blessing to get to work with these individuals and these people that I genuinely care for.
Yeah, if any of the guys know of anywhere to get toilet paper in the next few weeks, maybe they let me know, because it seems like everywhere's sold out. So that could be a pressing issue. But other than that, I think, I appreciate what you've done, reaching out to us. We're free to talk to anybody, FaceTime, call. My only message would be, don't be afraid to reach out and establish a relationship with somebody right now.
I want to thank you guys again, and hopefully we can get, we get through this sooner rather than later. So
Sounds good. Thanks, Hugo.
Thanks, Hugo.
All righty.